8th day of January 2022. It's a new year. Let's be optimistic. Everything is going to be, everything will settle down this year. We got to be optimistic with all the pandemic and what is prevailing right now. That said, uh, just happened to watch a South Indian Tamil movie, Theerpugal Virkapadum. I'm not a big fan of doing movie reviews, but the point is, you know what? You can talk about any any subject that's profound and that people need to know, and it's by way of information or knowledge. You touch on you talk on different subjects that people need to know. People are not interested. They just want entertainment. Entertainment is addiction. So what do they want? They want sports, they want movies, they want music. So you talk about movies or sports, that's the way people people and people who wanted to be on YouTube, they touch on they know how to pander to the people's weakness. So movie, yeah, I don't like to review every movie, but if a movie has something to say, a good message, or it impacts me in a big way, then I talk about it. Otherwise, most movies I just skim through. So Theerpugal Virkapadum touches on a very serious subject that needs to be addressed in Indian society, which is Indian society. I guess it's corruption is part and parcel of the society, and corruption, be it police, be it anything else, with the right kind of money, everybody is up for sale. What is Theerpugal Virkapadam? It means are judgments are on sale, which means what kind of judgment? It's the court verdict, court judgment, right? And so this story is about how a rich man is able to bribe a judge, a female judge, who is presiding over a rape case. Being a woman, she shows no empathy because she's under the table. She's scooping, she's shoveling, meaning she's getting a big bribe from a rich man whose son is also one of the three accused in the murder, not murder, I mean rape charge. So that's a good subject. People need to know about these things. Even the just members of the judiciary, they can be bought. Money, with the right amount of money, anybody is on sale. Very few people, there are people who will not ever do something morally questionable, no matter what. There are people, but they are few and far between. But the vast majority are corrupt. It's so true of internet too. It's infested with. I don't want to digress. So anyway, what happens? What happens? This Bahubali Kattappa, now he's a renowned gynecologist. What a leap! He has a daughter. He is a gynecologist. His daughter is also some kind of doctor, obstetrician or gynecologist is not clear, but she's always on a. She's being shown as if she's attending medical conferences with his father. She has a boyfriend. He's a doctor. The boyfriend's father, he's a doctor. They're all gynecologists and obstetricians. Otherwise, they won't be in the same conference, medical conference. Anyway, so the Katapa doctor, Satyaraj, gynecologist, his only daughter. He's doting on her. His life is I mean, his daughter is his world. And the girl and the young doctor, the other doctor, uh, wants to marry gynecologist Kattappa's daughter. So with all doctors, so the boy's side boy brings his father, who is also a doctor, his mother, and the traditional way, seeking the girl's hand in marriage. Dr. Katappa says all is well, but my daughter is going to go to US. The plans are underway. She is going to pursue post graduation medical studies. She has to complete a post graduation. The boys side say, okay, all good. We can all wait for that or whatever. So everything ends on a very happy note. So on that, after that, the girl and boy they go out. One evening, the girl is waiting for her boyfriend, doctor boyfriend. She's a doctor herself, and he's late to come, and she's waiting in a deserted street corner. Three young goons. They are all kids, spoiled kids of some rich people, and one of them is highly connected because his father is very rich, a businessman. He wields power, money, and he can make anything work with money. So they try to misbehave with the girl, and the girl takes out slippers, a typical Indian thing. Women take the slipper as though they're having a AK-47. I'll slap you and slap with the slipper. And what happens? This. See, it's a male chauvinistic society. I'm not being scornful or anything, but that's a reality. People may get defensive with that. But throughout history, women are treated badly in that culture. But that's a culture has more female deities and goddesses than anywhere. That's a culture that gives Vedas, the four Vedas, and Upanishads, and Vedantas, and Bhagavad Gita, and all that stuff, philosophies, plethora, but the most corrupt society with all that. Anyway, I guess I'm being a little, you know what? Please forgive me for saying that. If anybody is offended, forgive me. Anyways, so this happens. The girl, slaps the goons or the young goons, and guess what? These bad people, normally people are normal, average, uh, sane minded people won't even think of going after harassing a girl. A man with pride and dignity will never go after a woman who shows no interest, and will never harass a woman who is standing alone. Women, children, elderly needs to be protected by men. That's what makes us great men. Not great men, that's what makes us men. You don't bully a weakling. You are you think you're tough, go pick on someone who is much more stronger, or at least equally stronger. But women, yeah, children, they beat their children in this society. Elderly are, they respect elderly, but what do? They now consign them to the old age. So it's a bad things are happening. So this girl tried to slap the bad guys, and the bad guys, it's like beating a viper or a snake. If you beat a snake that's trying to attack you, what does the snake do? It will attack you anyways. So slipper is not the most powerful weapon, by the way. This is for the Indian women. They think slipper is a very powerful weapon. So, and that said, boom, everything turns. She calls her boyfriend. Boyfriend comes, rushes to the spot in his car, and he gets down and puts up a lousy fight, and all three, but the young bad guys are knocked down to the ground. So he just takes his girl, heroic move, tries to get away. I mean, it's not heroic move. Any man should do that. But then these three bad guys, young men who are down on the, knocked down to the ground. Uh, One fellow takes two bottles, one for the female doctor, the other for the male doctor. Target never misses. So the girl is hit, but she's slightly injured, bleeding. That, but the doctor, is very badly injured, almost he lapses into unconsciousness, unable to protect his girlfriend. So the girlfriend is raped by three guys, and the father ends up in the court seeking justice, and the court is presided by a woman, but the woman is just she's being bribed by the rich father of one of the three rapists. The judge is a woman, but she shows no empathy to a female victim. All three accused of rape acquitted. The victim gets no justice. And not only that, the father, Kattappa gynecologist, comes out. He's said to be a renowned doctor. And the villains, young villain, the father, the big villain, he comes. That villain should have kept. He goes above and beyond with his evil attitude. He just approaches Kattappa gynecologist and insults him, humiliates him, and taunts him. He said, "Don't mess with us. We are rich people. We are people with means, right?" And Kattappa is now enraged, but he's helpless, innocent man. But what does he has? He has a skill. He's a renowned doctor. So what happens to Kattappa gynecologist, and what he does to avenge his daughter's injustice forms the rest of the story. So Kattappa gynecologist becomes a vigilante. He corners the rich man's bad, evil son. He's a surgeon, right? What does it nips? What does he nips? Or what he surgically removes the genitalia of their rapist. But then it can be he's walking around with the genitalia, and he makes a call to he's a doctor. It's all preserved. What you call it's. They are even talking about new organ transplanting preservation techniques, the medical conference. So there are new techniques where transplant, organs that can be removed for transplant operations or surgical procedures can be preserved. They're talking about it. So all these doctors are sitting there. The girl, the victim's a doctor. The girl, gynecologist, top gynecologist, and the groom's side, he's a doctor. Groom's father is a doctor. Either they are gynecologist or an obstetrician. Not sure, but Kattappa is a gynecologist, a top surgeon. So anyway, Kattappa does the right thing, and audience going, "Wow, that's the right thing to do." All the rape victim, boom, take their, what, genitalia, right? After that, they cannot even look at a woman, right? I mean, everything, every, organ in the body, every human parts in the body, you can, if you use your hand for constructive purposes, right? But if you try to use it as a weapon, or if you feed it as a weapon to hurt somebody, yeah, for good reasons you can use. But if you use your genitalia as a weapon to harm women, that needs to be taken away. I mean, not being scornful, silly, but maybe the legal system should be revamped. So that happens. So Kattappa goes on a vengeance spree, goes after these guys, forms the rest of the story. Does it brings nostalgia on our part? People who watch English movies, Hollywood, American movies, would remember in the 80s, early 80s, I believe, Charles Bronson made Death Wish 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and all became blockbusters. And I think Death Wish went up to six sequels. What is Death Wish? He's just an ordinary guy, but his daughter is being raped by 5 or 6 men. So what does the father do? He goes on a spree because the justice system does not give or does not does not work in favor of the victim. It's all about law. So anyway, law can be manipulated. You know, and when corruption gets in, it's even worse. That's what this movie is trying to show. And excellent movie, good subject, but I would say, by way of criticism, I would say it's very poorly executed. Good plot line. It's a it's a subject that prevails in the society, needs to be addressed, and but the execution of the movie, plot how they are trying to narrate the story on the silver screen, falls below expectation. As for the actors, Katappa, yeah, okay. Everybody's raving that he's playing. Yeah, he's a veteran actor. He's been there like 30 years or whatever. But you know what? The difference between acting should when you act, the people, you should get into the skin of the character. You don't. If you're using glycerin to cry, then you don't have acting skills. You should be able to get into the skin of the character and completely forget they are acting, forget there is a camera, and it needs a certain amount of confidence and swag, and at the same time, you should be able to get into the skin of the character, which means you have to feel the character in the soul. And some parts where they are showing father-daughter relationship, he's trying to play the role of a doting father, loving father. It looks like acting, and that's my view. I'm not here to criticize anybody. uh, if you just be yourself and feel the character in you, acting comes naturally. And when you try to act, it doesn't. People can see it. Right. Anyway, that's my only review. My As far as this movie goes, I think I